Hi, this is Sue with Travel Changes Life, and I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of travel right now. I'm recording this on Friday, August the 6th, and at this time, travel, which had begun to open up a little bit, is now starting to narrow down and close down because of the prevalence and the very high contagion factor of the Delta COVID variant, the Delta variant of the COVID virus. So I've been getting a lot of questions from people who are booked on travel in the next couple of months. I myself am booked on travel in September. And what I am seeing and want to pass on to you is that travel companies, tour operators, countries, cruise lines are beginning to require more and more proof of your health before they allow you to either board their ship or board their airplane or enter their country or join one of their tours. And this is really for your protection. So it has come to the public's notice that even if, like me, you are fully vaccinated, you still are able to get the Delta variant. It may not make you sick enough to send you to the hospital, but you can have it and you can pass it on to others who, unfortunately, have not been vaccinated. So the people who are unvaccinated are at risk to the Delta variant, and you are at risk because you are able to pass along and have this virus. I personally know people who have been fully vaccinated since February or March of this year, and they are now home sick with the Delta variant of COVID. They're not sick enough to be admitted to the hospital, but they are sick and they are contagious to other family members and to the public. So, for that reason, let's take cruise lines as an example, but they are certainly not the only example where they might have required you to prove that you have been vaccinated. They're now, almost all of them are requiring you to prove your vaccination, but also have a negative COVID test, usually a PCR test, within 48 to 72 hours before you board. And this creates a little bit of an issue because you've got to get that scheduled and taken um, in a short enough period of time before you travel so that when you get there, the 72 hours is still in effect, but in a long enough period of time so that you can get the result of the PCR test before you actually travel. So, my best advice to you is to go ahead and schedule now, even if it's next month in September or even in October, schedule now an appointment for getting the PCR test. Honestly, this is a great idea anyway. If you're going to travel out of the country, you want to have a PCR test and make sure that you're negative before you go out of the country because you've got to prove negativity before you come back into the United States anyway. So, this extra level that tour operators and cruise lines and countries are requiring is for your safety and is also helps you know that when you left you were negative, and you'll have to prove with another test that you're negative before you come back into the United States. So at this point, vaccination keeps you from getting sicker, but it is not going to be the only proof that you're going to be asked for if you were traveling internationally. So if that bothers you, then the thing to do is to make alternative plans or to cancel your trip because I think this is going to be in effect for from right now, probably till the end of 2021 and maybe into the beginning of 2022. This affects everybody. It affects us. We have trips that we ourselves are supposed to make. Whether we'll be able to make those, I don't know. We are planning to actually have a business trip to France in September, and France is narrowing down who they will allow in their country. They also have a health passport now that their own citizens have to show before they go into an event venue, a bar, a restaurant, a movie theater. So, of course, if French citizens have to have that proof, then American citizens who are visiting France are also going to have that proof. Just keep in mind that things are very fluid right now. They're changing all the time. And if you cannot put up with that, then now is not a time for you to travel. If you can put up with that, then you will be rewarded by going on trips where the crowds are low, where you will be able to have better visibility in museums and at like in Rome at the ruins than you ever would have ever had before in your life. So there's upsides and downsides to this. But I wanted to let you know that you will be required, I think, for well into the end of 2021 and probably into 2022. You will be required to prove not only that you are vaccinated, but that you are currently negative for COVID. So if you have questions about that, I really encourage you to check with the website of the country you're visiting. Keep in mind that the airlines will have requirements for masking and health. The tour operator or the cruise line will have, the hotels might have, and the country will have. You have to meet all of those requirements, and that's just going to require flexibility and the willingness to go get those tests when you need them from all of us if you want to be a traveler. That's it for now. Bye bye.